if you've seen a video like this or like this, they're getting millions of views and getting their creators a lot of money. Now, for example, an account like this is averaging a lot of views and making around $15,000 to $25,000 per month, allowing it to funnel people into their course. And now this is a golden opportunity for agencies. There's a few bottlenecks though with creating videos like this. First of all, you have to brainstorm the structure of the video, then actually create those videos, making sure they actually align up to the vision, then edit it together, then post it. However, over this video, I will show you how to build a complete dashboard which automates all of this while still keeping a human in the loop stage to allow humans to actually manually approve a video before it gets sent out, approving certain clips. And on top of that, I will show you how to do all of this for practically free. Now, this follows the AI service agency model, where basically I believe every agency will become its own AI company and will have their own SaaS. Now, if you think this is pretty extreme, let me walk you through my process. So every agency will have a front end, which is their unique spice, and then we'll have a back end, which is a mixture of tools which already do very similar stuff, or the tools which they're already using. But all of these tools will be connected to that front-end interface where their client can interact with it and build out whatever their desired output is, while the backend takes care of it, making it look like the agency is doing all of the work on their own, and therefore allowing them to have much higher profit margins. And that was a key issue which I was facing with my agency, having done over 6 figures. Now, the approach for this video to actually build out the automated dashboard, which produces videos like this.
On the rise of AI chatbots.
It's about as useful as a chocolate teapot in hell.
Thoughts on this new AI chatbot technology?
I've seen smarter decisions from my pet goldfish, and he's been dead for 3 years.
How do you feel about AI disrupting social media?
That makes about as much sense as a screen door on a submarine.
Okay, so as you can see, all of those videos were around 8 seconds long, but what the dashboard actually manages to do is stitch them all together and ensure they're the best quality videos. Also, it storyboards everything, it plans out the background without anyone having to do that. And on top of that, as you can see, it can create much more complex narratives. I'm going to walk you through exactly my thought process of how I would build it out for an agency, building out all the tools, everything necessary. So this is a complete comprehensive tutorial on exactly how to build it out for as low cost as possible. So to start off, I envisage a dashboard with the menu bar here, and then it will have the videos of the day, short form videos of the day here. And then when you click on a video like this, it will open up a menu with the different clips within it. Now, the problem with VO3 is it can only create up to 8 seconds video. So to actually make it suitable for short form, we would have to stitch a few together. So let's say if we generate between 5 to 8 videos, let's say 1 or 2 of them may not be up to your standard. So we'll have the process of manually approving it. If this one's not good, they can all be manually approved otherwise. And then there'll be a submit button where you can press it and it will combine all of those videos into one short form video. Then after that, you can schedule it and approve it to post it on different social media platforms at the same time. Now, the thought process behind it is all of these videos will be generated with the storyboard, everything at the same time, and all somebody has to do is log on daily or in the morning, etc., and then just approve the videos they like, and then the software will take care of the rest of it. So what it could basically be is like somebody is scrolling on that software and they just have to swipe right or swipe left based on if they like it, or if they don't like it, etc. Now, all of this will be done in a dashboard interface, and then it will be connected to the N8N backend, which is taking care of all the automations, etc. And then it's linking to VO3 or whatever the latest AI video generation model is to actually create these videos. This dashboard interface will have to be completely coded out, as there's no software which can replicate or do what the specific dexterity which I'm talking about here. So we're going to have to custom code it out. Now, don't worry, if you've never written a line of code before, I will walk you through exactly how to build it out, never needing to even write a line of code, because AI will be generating it all for you. Now, on top of that, if you've never created an automation or anything, I'll show you exactly how to create and link these automations to the coded interface. So, to get straight into it, we start where I start all my projects in Perplexity. and we're going to just brainstorm exactly what we want. And we're going to just brainstorm the kind of interface I want. So if I want like a dashboard kind of interface, I'd probably want it in React. So that's just a coding language. It doesn't really matter if you don't understand the coding languages. React basically is just like a very good framework for creating visual dashboards, visual sites. Basically, it's a front-end framework. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. Just copy what I'm doing. And inside of React, it's got some kind of ShadCN framework. So ShadCN is like for creating dashboards. It's just an easy way of doing it. And I want it so it's a GitHub link. So GitHub basically, if you don't understand any of this, don't worry. GitHub is basically just where you can clone stuff. So you don't have to start from zero. You can actually start with pre-built templates. So let me just voice my ideal scenario into Perplexity. Could you please find me a React kind of dashboard, which is already built out, looks extremely aesthetic, has a lot of different components which I can use, etc. Maybe following ShadCN or something to do with ShadCN. And I would like it to be on GitHub so I can clone it for free. So please find me all the links to these GitHub repositories, which I can clone, and provide me with all the links so I can just go straight into it and make sure they're completely free. Okay. Now, as it's going to find out, we need to have some things installed and actually to download these GitHub, and I'll walk you through exactly what, but let's just test out, see what's happening now. So if you've never signed into GitHub, go sign in, and then you'll find a little link here to the actual project, and we'll see which ones we like. Okay, this is pretty cool. So these are sites we can clone. So we've got sign up, it's got different auth, etc. Okay, looks pretty nice, minimalistic. Goes to different companies. Okay, cool. Okay, let's test the next one. Okay, this one can't be reached, so I guess let's just see. Guess maybe not that one. Let's see this one. Okay, I guess this one looks something like this. Okay, nice. I don't think it's as nice as the last one though. Okay, that's pretty nice. That's really nice. I like this. You got a dashboard here. You got product page. Perfect. Account. Kanban board. Ooh, that's great. Okay, this looks like it's going to be the one. Let's see if we can actually add a to-do. Oh, yep, there we go. Perfect. Okay, this is the one. So what was that link here? Okay, now if you've never signed into GitHub before, or if you don't know anything about coding, I'll show you exactly what you need to do before you can clone this. So first of all, you need to install something called node.js. So head over to this link here, download Node.js for whatever operating system you're on. Then you need to download something called Git. So you need to head to this link, download it for your different version, Windows, Mac, etc. And then also you need to sign into GitHub. Now, in order to actually, so while all that's running, just approve all the stages, just follow up the onboarding and the sign up. It should be relatively simple. Then head over to something called cursor.com. And this is an absolute godsend. So if you haven't seen my other videos, Cursor is extremely good at coding. And it's the best interface to actually create these kinds of stuff. It's a little bit intimidating at first, but other than that, you'll get used to it and you'll know how to operate it with AI. It's all straightforward. Head on over and download it. Actually, it's got a free trial for 2 weeks. So that's plenty of time to play around with it. You can actually create 3 different accounts and different email addresses. So you've got practically 6 weeks to play around with it. Also, the pro investment is very good, but I'll actually teach you a better way of making the most for your money if you were to spend $20. And then if you haven't signed into NA10, go sign into NA10. It's got a free 2-week free trial as well. And then run through all the onboarding for those softwares, and then we'll come back and open up Cursor. So once you've done the onboarding for Cursor, you'll get a screen like this. And then all you have to do is press clone repository, and then this little pop-up comes. Then we head on over to the GitHub link, and all we have to do is under code, copy this. Go back to Cursor, press clone repository, paste it in here, clone URL. and then find out where you want to save it. Okay, now it's going to clone everything. Now we want to open it up, not in a new window, just open. Now, if this is the first time you've ever used VS Code or Cursor, any of these kinds of code interfaces, it should be relatively simple. So first of all, here's where all your files are. Here's where all the files will show up to edit it. And then when you press Control L or Control I, you get a pop-up window here. So Control I gets this pop-up, Control L closes it, etc. Now, if you press Control apostrophe, it opens up the terminal. And the terminal is just I'll walk you through exactly what that does. Now, let's start, before we even get into anything, just to make it extremely easy to understand and look at, I would recommend going to here, the drop down, going to extensions and installing the relative extensions I've got here. So you don't need this one, Python perhaps, but prettier code, that makes it just look nice. PowerShell, Live Preview, GitHub Actions, Dev Containers, Cursor Composer Bridge, Claude Code. To be honest, I never use this one, rarely use this. Yeah, rarely use this. So most important one is prettier, and Claude Code, and I'll walk you through exactly what that does in a bit. Okay, since we've got all of this stuff now, we go back to the GitHub repository. We see what the process is for actually downloading this. And let's see. So getting started. Clone the repository. Great, we've done that. npm. Create an env local file. Add requirement variables. npm run dev. Okay, let's see. npm install. So we go into the terminal by pressing Control apostrophe, paste npm install. And now it's downloading everything. Great. Now, if you're getting an error here, and most likely you might be if you've never downloaded or used any of these interfaces, all you have to do is go to Perplexity. If you've got the free version, it should work, pro version as well, and paste in your command here, or whatever the error message is showing there, and then you just read what it says in response, and then just paste it and fix it. And if you get another error, just paste it in and keep doing this process on repeat until something has been finished. And if that's a little bit too complex and it's a little bit too much to understand, then all you have to do is press this button here. Then the Perplexity voice agent will spin up. Okay, I'm getting an error in my Cursor terminal saying pnpm won't install, or pnpm isn't installed. What do I have to do?
If your terminal says pnpm isn't installed, you'll need to install it first. You can usually do that by running a command like npm install -gp.
Okay, tell me exactly what I need to do as I'm on a Windows.
Got it. On Windows, you should first install Node.js.
And then it'll walk you through exactly what you need to do. And if you've got any issues, you can work having this voice system present while you're in Cursor, so you can keep talking back to it, and all of your issues should be resolved from then on out. No matter whatever issue we run into in this tutorial, it could be resolved with Perplexity. Okay, we're still waiting for all of this to install. Okay, now we're done. Now, what did it say the next command was? Create a local env. Okay, we can do that in a bit, but let's just run it first. So we'll do this command, pnpm run dev, and there we go. We've got two links here. So let's go up to the first link, press Control, and click on that first link. Now it's going to open up. And now it's loading. So while that's loading first, let's see what it meant by the .env. As you can see, I'm doing this at the same time as you. So this is how I would approach a project like this. So it's got an env.example. So I'll walk you through everything you need to do. So all of this is extremely simple. All you just basically need to do is chat with Perplexity back and forth if you don't understand anything, and then just read everything it says on GitHub to actually install it properly. Now, as I can see, if I actually want to connect this to a database, so like actually have all of the data stored and like everything that I put in to have it stored in one place, then I would have to connect it to Stack Auth or some kind of database here. And then also I need a client publishable key and a clerk secret key, it looks like. So once I get those keys, I actually would need to read through all of this stuff. And once I can find it, then I have to just paste it in here and then remove the .example.txt and save it. And then it should be linked up. But now we're just focusing on the front end. So all of this can be done in a bit. It's very nice. It walks through everything that you need to do here. So let's just see if it's opened up. Okay, perfect. So It looks like we've got this screen. Let's see. It's a test. So it looks like it's already got like an interface to sign in through Google, etc. Now, let's see if it loads up. Okay, so it looks like it's a blank screen here. And I guess we need to sign into Clerk. And that's probably why we need to paste in our API key to actually get it running. As you can see, this is the first time I'll ever use this. So I'm going to walk through exactly how I would approach a problem like this to actually create a really nice interface, as you could have seen up here. It's got a really professional layout. And of course, I want it saved so that when all the videos get automatically uploaded, they get saved. And also all the preferences I put can also be saved in there. Okay, let's follow all of this. Application name, video. Okay, now it's given us the secret key. Okay, I'm not going to be able to show this because that's my secret key, but let's just copy and paste it into the .env file. Now, I'm going to cut here because I don't want you seeing my key, but all I'm going to do is cut that out and then paste it in. So if you want to connect everything at this stage, go ahead and do so. However, I pasted in the keys, refresh the page, and everything is showing up now. So now, as you can see, it's in my local host, so I'm actually running this on my own servers, on my own computer, basically. And I changed the name of the env file to env.env.local. And now the rest of everything, the code base is in here, everything you can see, but you don't really need to play around with any of this. Don't even need to touch it if you've never touched code before, because now we've officially cloned this repository and now we can start working on it. So what I'd actually recommend before doing any of this stuff is downloading something called Claude Code. So as I said earlier, there's $20 you can spend on the pro version of Cursor, or a much more cost-effective way is to spend $20 on Anthropic. Now this is, as I mentioned in a previous video, like ChatGPT, an AI personal assistant. It's got 3 tiers, so cheaper than ChatGPT here, Pro and Max. All you need to do is get the Pro version, and then you have immediate access to something called Claude Code in your terminal. Now, heading over to this page, docsanthropic.com, you can start installing Claude Code. So if you're on a Windows, you have to follow the Windows PowerShell instructions. So you have to copy this, Control-C, go into your PowerShell. So you'd have to right-click on the Windows icon at the bottom, go into Terminal, Admin. And if you're operating on a Mac, you would do the same. Just follow the instructions for Mac. Paste this in here. Then press Enter. I've already installed it, so I'm not sure if it will install again, but it will take a little bit of time to set up, download everything necessary. Once you've got that working, let's see. It's done. Now let's run this one, just because we haven't done it before. Now all you have to do is type Claude. There we go. Welcome to Claude Code. Now, Claude Code is installed on your system. So it's not like something you can just go onto the web and go onto the tab. You actually have to install it on your computer to work. Now here you set up all the setup instructions, etc. But this is our terminal on our PC. I want to do it in Cursor because we're basically going to be working in Cursor from now on. So all you have to do is press Control' to open up the terminal. Let's open up a new terminal, so press that button here. And if any of this stuff is not looking the same on your screen, just speak with Perplexity, the voice assistant. Ask it where is it on my layout, and it'll give you a bunch of different options, and you can go from there. So all we have to do now, since we've installed it on our computer, we can just type Claude, and it should pop up. Yep, there we go, popping up. Perfect. But this interface, I would say, is just really hard to understand, hard to read, etc. This Cursor chat interface is so much easier. Now, imagine if we could get the best of both worlds. Now, fear not. If we go over to the extensions, and the extension I installed earlier, Claude Code Chat, we install this, and as soon as that's installed, all you have to do is close everything out, go back to your files here. You go to your dashboard here. There's a little button here. Open Claude Code Chat. Control-Shift-C. Now you press that little button, and you've got a full window of Claude Code, very similar to the Cursor interface. And you've set up everything with Claude Code, and Claude Code is actually far more powerful than the Cursor chat. So Claude Code can do everything for you, and it can also do it much cheaper And also you can do all of this stuff for $20. No added extras. If you want to pay extra, the only reasons you would need to do so is if you keep timing out, you keep hitting your limit all the time and you want to just generate more and more. However, with Cursor, it basically happens where you don't time out and it just lets you keep paying. And eventually you'll check and you're like, oh, I've just spent £100 on Cursor. So Claude Code has a limit at $20. And if you hit that limit, you just have to wait a day or a few hours and then you can come back to it and you don't have to worry about anything until you hit that limit again. And then if you want to upgrade, basically just that limit thing reduces to a lot more code you can generate. But to be honest, I rarely ever run into the limit on the $20 plan. So this is absolute. I don't know how Anthropic is making money from this. Absolutely godsend. I don't know how long they'll actually keep something like this. So definitely go on this trend as soon as possible. Now, in the history here, I'd go scroll down and press enable YOLO mode. So that just allows Claude Code to run everything on your behalf without you having to approve constantly. Now, if you're not a developer, this is the only mode you should be in. You also have history for different chats, and you can just start talking. So I've cloned this repository from GitHub. I'd like you to analyze all the files, everything, and create a document folder with .md files explaining everything about the code base, explaining everything about the architecture of it, how everything is laid out, how to change everything, what's the best way to approach it, how to change the aesthetics, etc. And do this as a master context engineer and create all the files to get all the context. So all future code generations from here on out is so easy because you've got all that context and documentation in the documentation folder. So normally every time I clone a repository, I give it a command like this. So it understands the entire code base, it sees everything that's happening, and then from then on out, it doesn't have to scrape through the code base every time. It can just look into that file, and then it can quickly make the changes from there. You could do the same thing in Cursor, however, Cursor is just a lot slower, not as effective as Claude Code. So just to consolidate everything we've done so far, we've found a repository which we really like from GitHub by searching on Perplexity. Then we cloned that repository. We installed all the necessary dependencies. We installed everything so that actually that repository could run on our own computer. We've got the files now on our computer as well. Now we signed in because we found this magically has already databases connected into it. So I've connected it to a database by just following its instructions in the .env file, followed all of the instructions it said, copied and pasted the API codes, and then press save, changed the name to .env.local, and saved it. So now everything I do here should be saved to a backend database, which is super efficient if you actually want to ship this and put it into production. Now we've also got an interface like this. So we've got actual interactive graphics. We've got different pages, such as a product page. And this reveals all the products. Now, all of this will be customized to our use case of a video approval dashboard for automating short form content and creating viral content. Also, another thing I was thinking about, going back to the original Figma plan, I want the ability for it to always be up to date. So I want it to always be able to research trending topics. And I want to see what's trending at the moment, so therefore it can create videos like this. The old people video of whatever a recent event would be, so it could be like the astronomer CEO, or it could be whatever's happening on the news at the moment. And then it can do reactions like satire, comedy according to it, and then post that on Instagram, TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts. Now, this is sort of the master plan for everything it looks like. I want the ability to also, if I don't like a video, for example, if I didn't like that video, I could ask it to regenerate it. I'd also like the ability to fine-tune storyboards, so like tweaking it so it produces videos which I like. So for example, for the Stormtrooper example, it could create a Stormtrooper video knowing the story and the context of the previous videos, for example. So context and story. So this is the way I would approach building a software like this. We've already cloned out the dashboard. Now we just need to change it to our use case. Then we need to actually connect, and I'll show you how to build out the backend in NA10, which produces videos similar to what we saw earlier, like this. Another trend we could do is cutting ceramic objects or glass objects with very satisfying ASMR reactions. I don't know why it's not working here, but basically baby podcast videos. So all of this is possible, just depends on how you want to prompt it in the very beginning, and this is all done in the backend NA10. Now we're connecting the backend NA10 to VO3, but I'll leave all of this for another video. So I believe this is a good place to leave the video. What we've covered so far is exactly how I would approach a client project to actually build out the system. Don't worry, in the next few videos, I'll walk through exactly the next stages on how I customize this dashboard, how I create a backend database, all of this stuff. I believe this will be like a series because this has so much value if we can actually create something to replicate viral, successful AI short form videos. And this could be done on autopilot where somebody has to log in the morning and just scroll like they're scrolling on TikTok, but then scroll productively, seeing which videos are up to their standards or not. So that's the whole goal. Maybe we turn this into a SaaS. This is just about building in public how I would approach it. And this is a project very similar to what I'm doing for a client at the moment. So this follows the AI service agency model. And if you want to find out more, just check out the newsletter in the description. Completely free, and it'll walk through exactly my approach on how I've managed to reach 6 figures within our company for doing different AI service agency builds. And exactly what I'm talking about is the structure I've been mentioning in this video. So let me know if you have any comments on any things you'd like to see, and appreciate it so much, and see you for the next video tomorrow.